Welcome back into the workshop for the afternoon diary update. Now, I came out here this morning for the morning Dave's diary update, and I went to move my cabinet around to do something and rolled the casters off of the cabinet. 4 of them, all at the same time. Oh, so I thought, that's a bit odd. One caster maybe might peel out or something, but 4 of them? So I thought about it, and I kind of came to the conclusion, even before I saw it, that the casters that were using the this sort of fitting obviously just stripped out the fitting, the insert from the not so tough custom wood. And that's what did actually happen. And I thought to myself, that's odd, because normally or ideally I mount the threaded insert like I've got it here from the top, but come up underneath with the caster into the thread. Now, why I didn't do that, I don't know, because this end I did. Because I know that's the ideal way of doing it, because it's got a lot more resistance to being pulled out of the fibres of the custom wood. So did I mount that plate upside down when they should have had these in it? Don't know. I would have thought I would have put the inserts in afterwards. So I really don't know. And long story short, I've got to fix that now. In fact, I've got to strip everything off, put it somewhere, and take all the drawers out, tip them up, and put the remedy for it. So that's the background to what I want to talk about. So this is a 10mm thread. Actually, I'll just see if I can get the insert off of the... Hang on, I'll just put yours down for a moment. Don't go away. Just need to take the insert off of the caster, which I've done. So that's a 10mm thread. Oh, that's okay. I've got a 10mm tap. So I drilled a hole, required diameter, a 1/10 bigger actually, and I went to tap it, and wasn't having a bar of it. It almost felt as if the tap was wedging itself into the hole as it was trying to cut the thread, and I thought, well, that's odd. I've got the right size diameter drill bit. In fact, it's a 1/10 of a mil over. It's not going to make, that's going to help rather than hinder. I, in the end, did actually get some sort of thread into it, and I thought, because it was jamming. And I'm thinking, I'm going to bust this tap off. And it was a brand new one, or one that had only been used maybe once before. So that was odd. Right, that's not going to help. So luckily I shot away down because it's a Saturday, just past 12, and I shot down to the local engineer supply, and he had actually turned the computer off because he was about to leave. But I was luckily enough, he fired it back up, and I was able to buy a brand new tap and a drill for it, 8.5mm. Came back, drilled it, tapped it, and of course the thread now goes in properly. Yay! So my solution, and this is why I'm using this bit of steel, my solution to my problem, which is a bit of a pain, even having to consider doing this, is to make up some bars like this that can have the casters screwed into them. Then I can drill some holes in this and put some heavy tack screws or something into it and put them underneath. So this is a mounting plate that's a little bit over-engineered. But hey, I had some of this lying around, which was fortunate, and what else would I do? Because I need to get my flaming cabinet working and moving again. So the reason for the video is to tell you that's what I needed to do and how I tap things, because I just watched a video by one of my favourite YouTubers, and Brandon from Inheritance Machining, and he was making a what do you call it, a multi-sized tap holder, which, as he said, he doesn't think he's ever seen one before, and why haven't they been made? Anyway, he made the tap holder, and I thought, I'll show people my tap holder, and it's called a drill press. You go, yeah, nothing new to there, Dave, move on. Well, no, I think people should actually think, well, maybe you know about it, maybe you don't, but just using your drill press to hold your tap means you're going to get downward pressure at 90 degrees to your material. Obviously, because that's what drill presses are good for, pushing down square to the surface that you're drilling, or in this case, tapping. Now, I've done lots of holes using this method, and I'm going to elaborate on this gizmo in a moment, but I can't walk this way. I did all of these holes in this plate, and there's, let's just say there's 70 to 80 holes in here, and it's a 14 millimeter by 1 millimeter pitch, and I did the equivalent number there or thereabouts on those bars over there. That's a lot of holes, and I did them over a few days, and it was quite an effort, but I had a little trick up my sleeve, and that's where, it's called a drill press. That allowed me to get them nice and square, etc. And some of the holes I was turning literally the chuck by hand, and I thought, that's actually hard work. What happened if I put the chuck key in? Yeah, that fit. And I'd use the chuck key to turn the chuck. Still, everything connected up top here, because it didn't actually feel that much resistance in the chuck, at all. And then I was using like screwdrivers, and that was a nuisance because it would hit. Then I cut a little bit of a threaded rod, and that worked. Ground the heck out of your hand. Then I wised up, and I went and got one of these things. It's a mounting ring for plumbing or cable fittings. So I had that, just a one side of it, and it worked really, really well. But I thought, what happened if I buy two of them, so I've got the mounting parts on either side, and make up this gizmo, which I did this morning. The single-sided one works so well that I thought, let's do this, make it a little bit more sophisticated, and put a rubber grommet on the end here. This is just for furniture. It's a 1/2-inch rubber, furniture foot. So I put a couple of nuts on the threaded rod, 10 millimeter, locked them off against each other, ground them down on the grinder to a size that permitted me to tap this on, so that protects my hand and gives me a wee bit of a grip. Was going to go with something like that, but the shop didn't have anything like that. And now I've got a two-handed tapping machine that taps square, and because I've disconnected the belts, is free running. Yay! No resistance whatsoever. This is a major improvement on anything. You get those tapping tools where they've actually designed solely for doing taps, tapping holes. And I'm thinking, well, this is basically what I've got here, called a drill press. Let's make this work. And it works really, really well. I wished I had it in this form or format when I did all those other holes. But yeah, so now all I need to do is to wind the drill down until it engages the hole, turning this with two hands, and tap the hole. You've got to be careful that you don't have it set up where the arm and this hits, so that's pretty flaming obvious. But once you've got it wound down enough, it will clear. Now I saw, was it Jonathan Katz? Oh, no, was it John Hines? Oh, I can't remember now. But he had the same sort of setup, so this is nothing new. But he had the lever with something on it that stuck out, and it added weight to this, so it gave the downward pressure. I tried that. I found that to be beneficial up to the time it wasn't, and the sheer number of holes was a bit of a pain. And in the end, having the drill press disconnected up top here, and just engaging the first thread or so with the with this, so it starts biting into the metal, it's going to feed in anyway, and you don't need to add your downward pressure. Not in heavy material like this, at least. It might help with if a softer material, maybe, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. But I found all of those holes, I found it unnecessary to put additional weight on this once you started the thread in your material. Just saying. It was also the mitigating thing for all those holes I drilled and tapped, was that it's only a 1mm pitch thread, so the actual bite of the tap is actually quite light in the material, so there's that consideration as well. The bigger you go, the more oomph that's going to be required for the tap to bite into the material. And that was the reason for having these two put on this morning, and yeah, really, really easy to use, so couldn't recommend it more. And it's for, well, these are like, I can't remember, these are $4 each, so it's $8, a couple of dollars for those. So for less, say $15, I've made a tapping machine. And other than the restriction that this gives you, whatever distance here, for most part of the stuff that I'm doing, yeah, this is fine. It does it really well. So why wouldn't I want to make use of that? So that's what I'm going to do now. Tap these holes. Not going to take long. And yeah, fix my design flaw, or just the in-use hiccup, whatever it is. Fix that, and yeah, darn it. I had actually thought, and I probably could actually, of just jacking this up and putting some threaded inserts from the top, and then putting the feet back in, the casters back in. Yeah, I'm tempted to do that, but seeing I've already got these made up, yeah, I might as well go ahead and do it, hadn't I? So yeah, what a nuisance. Oh well, things like this happen in the workshop, doesn't it? Lucky it wasn't anything vital. The upside downside of this is I'll always do it this way in the future, always. Insert there, fitting that way. And the issue is I've used these casters in a lot of things. This unit here, which is part of the workbench. Over here for the miter station. Again, a 4 and a 4 caster setup. I think I've used them in the router station as well. This one here I used casters that I already had. Yeah, so I've used quite a few of them over the time, and hope it doesn't happen to them. That gets yanked out. So fingers crossed. Darn it. Anyway. Yeah, do I actually just put the threads in? No. This gets trundled around a lot. It's not like the other machines that are only trundled around on the occasional time. It probably deserves to have the slightly better, more robust mounting system, or a totally different type of casters. That's the other option. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Better get to do some tapping, hadn't I? Rightio, that's it. I'm off. Hope you think that might be of some benefit. I know it is for me, and yeah, couldn't recommend it strongly enough. So there you go. Rightio, that's it. Better get some work done. See you in the next one now. Bye.